I did chemical and petroleum engineering at the University of Surrey. And when I was coming out of the course, I realized that my prospects were looking a bit bleak, especially with the current climate and, the situation, especially here in the UK when it comes to graduates getting jobs and things like that. So I quite quickly realized that I need to find a way to gain some sort of experience within engineering or sustainability or something, because that's the kind of field that I wanted to go into. And I wasn't having much luck. It's very, very competitive, the graduate market here in the UK. But honestly, just by pure luck, I saw the email that was sent out by the University of Surrey because they partnered with InternMatch for that first year. So, I read it and I realized that I qualified for the service, and so I applied for it and I was successful. So as soon as I became successful, Katie, who was my coordinator, I'm not sure if she was the coordinator for everyone else, but she was my coordinator. She got in touch with me straight away, and I didn't know what intern match was. I didn't realize that, it's not a one of those I'd say legacy internships where where you're going to go straight away. One of
Yes.
the things I liked about it was that there was such a variety of different things to choose from. So I scheduled a call with Katie to describe my background, what I wanted to do, and she talked to me and told me about intern match, how it works, and based on what she knew about the internships available in the UK, what would be a good fit for me. So she gave me a few options. I explored them, and I decided to settle on one which I applied for and I was successful in, which was the internship with a sustainable energy news company and data company called Clean Energy Pipeline. Clean Energy Pipeline is a company which deals with everything sustainability related, mostly, I mean, it is worldwide, but for my internship, I was focused mainly on the UK. So um, data analysis essentially was my day-to-day role. I managed to gain quite a strong fundamental understanding of how um, projects are undertaken in the UK with regards to sustainability and renewable energy as well. So the big players, how they go from the conception of an idea to execution, the trends that are going on in the renewable energy market in the UK. So all of these were very important lessons that I didn't um, come across during my university experience. The program leader, so the guy who was running the internship for us, was a guy called Chen for Clean Energy Pipeline, a very knowledgeable guy, really knows his stuff, and he was always happy to help me. So at the beginning, he really walked me through everything. I was always on call with him. He was teaching me as much as he could about the industry in the very limited time that we had. He would give me tasks which didn't keep me, they weren't boring admin tasks that a lot of interns or my friends, for example, what I hear about internships being as. So they are given tasks such as, oh, scan this in or read off this and find some information. So I was very much included as part of the business. So I felt quite included and I was given quite a lot of responsibility after, becoming familiar with the basics of what clean energy pipeline do. Example, the day-to-day tasks were actually analyzing pieces of information from government databases, extracting the useful information, uploading it onto clean energy pipeline databases, and also while a lot of it was internal, I was then given the opportunity to work externally. So, for example, after analyzing the information and going to Chen and explaining and showing him my analysis, I would actually go to the clean energy pipeline database, which is used by customers, and actually upload the information into a format which the layman customer can sort of look at and actually understand. Like, so I gained another useful skill, I would say another very important one, which was converting very technical and maybe subject-specific information into a format which could easily be interpreted by someone who may not have expert within, who may not be an expert within that specific subject. While we did work in projects, throughout university, they do put you in project groups. You do have to occasionally do assignments with projects. It was nowhere near the level of teamwork and, synergy needed when compared to the internship. So I was working with multiple people. There were multiple moving parts, and this time it wasn't just, a lecturer who was going to mark your stuff. This was stuff that was going out to customer databases and things. So you are under a bit more pressure. I'd say a lot more pressure actually. But as they say, pressure makes diamonds. So I managed to learn. I would say I really honed my team working skills, understanding people's limitations, the team's limitations, but also understanding the strengths, delegating tasks. While it wasn't me who was delegating tasks because I was just an intern, um, observing the more senior ranking officials, the senior ranking people within the company, and I did ask them about how they delegated their tasks. So I gained quite a lot of insight of these, high rankers, which I actually am applying right now in my own job. It's important to realize that at university, a lot of it is theoretical. You're learning about maths. When it comes to engineering, it's maths and chemistry, things like that. You never get a chance to actually see how it's actually applied in the real world, and how just because it's theoretically it's possible, that practically it will also be possible. Sometimes that's not always the case. Financial, business, political, geopolitical things also influence all these things, which was a very useful addition to my skill set. It was a very, very crucial part of me getting my graduate job, because actually when I was applying for things before before the internship scheme, sorry, one of the drawbacks that I used to get when I would email them back when I was getting rejected for things was there are people who have more experience than you, or they have more professional experience than you. So when I ended up leaving the internship, another thing was that Katie was supporting me even after my internship ended. She was still, asking about what was going on, how was my applications going, and I used to send her my CV. I think I sent her a couple of covering letters or some interview preparations, and she really, she would send me detailed emails back on improvements, which actually, I did take those on board, and I'm sure that those definitely help. But with regards to the internship, when they used to see that on my CV, they would ask me a lot, and actually a substantial part of the interview would be about what happened during the internship, how you worked with people, with soft skills, like I mentioned, and also how I work, in a professional environment. They really want to know that. And I don't think, now after getting this job, I've realized the importance of getting some kind of professional experience. When I was applying for my job, were actually not always so much interested in your technical skills, but they really wanted to know about your soft skills, which I think one of the most important things of doing an internship or having a kind of professional experience somewhere.